guys hear me? Can we hear me? Good. Yes. Yes. All right. Welcome to our new 4-H family orientation for mini 4-H. Who's excited to be here? First mini 4-H time of the year. How many mini 4-Hers do we have? Raise your hand. Mini 4-Hers. Awesome. Awesome. I'm super excited to be here as well. Tonight, just to give you an overview of our plan, we're going to do our pledges. We are going to go over some history of 4-H. We're going to have some breakout sessions. So mini 4-Hers, you guys actually get to do some really fun activities with our junior leaders tonight. And then we will come back together to go over some last minute information about 4-H and deadlines and that sort of stuff, and have some time for Q&A. Those of you joining online, thank you. Type questions you have in the chat box. I will do my best to answer those at the end. All right, first, what we're going to do is we're going to do our pledges. So in mini 4-H, at every meeting we go to, every meeting we do, we start off our meetings the same way. We do the Pledge of Allegiance and the 4-H pledge. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk through those tonight. I have the words up on the screen. We'll do both of those. Junior leaders, if you are around the room, our junior leaders are helping us tonight. They are 7th through 12th graders that actually work with mini 4-Hers quite a bit. So if you are willing, junior leaders, to come up and help lead pledges, I would really appreciate it if you guys come down here onto the second stage, I guess. First, we are going to start with our Pledge of Allegiance. We've got our flag over here. So everybody please stand up. We're going to do our Pledge of Allegiance real quick. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, and next we always do our 4-H pledge. And if you don't know the 4-H pledge, that's okay. We're going to teach you here really quick tonight, okay? So every word that's highlighted here represents an H, okay, for the 4-H's. And every time we say those words, there's an action that goes with them. So when we say head, we point to our head. When we say heart, we point to our heart. Hands, you hold out your hands. And when we say health, you got to do a full body, right? Health is a whole lot of stuff. So I'm going to test you guys real quick before we do this. Okay, when I say head, what do you do? All right, when I say hands, what do you do? What about heart and health? Awesome, so you guys got it. We're gonna go along, and if you forget for whatever reason, that's why these junior leaders are here. Look to them, and they're gonna help you remember those actions, all right? So I pledge my head to clearer thinking, my heart to greater loyalty, my hands to larger service, and my health to better living for my club, my community, my country, and my world. Awesome, you guys can grab a seat. Thank you, junior leaders. Let's give the junior leaders a round of applause. So now you're probably thinking, all right, who is this wild woman up on stage talking all about 4-H and making you do crazy actions? My name is Katie Sweet. I'm the 4-H Youth Development Extension Educator for Hendricks County, which is a really long job title to say, I have the coolest job in the world because I get to work with 4-Hers just like you guys. So I am a self-proclaimed 4-H nerd. I absolutely love 4-H. You go to my office, I've got all sorts of 4-H swag everywhere. I got my master's degree from North Carolina State University, go Wolfpack. And I also got my undergrad at Ball State University. So chirp, chirp to any of you that are Ball State fans. So I'm super excited to be here. I actually get to work a lot with mini 4-H specifically. So I will be at all of your meetings. I will be the one that gets to answer a lot of your questions. I would say, for better terms, I'm the club leader for mini 4-H, and it is one of my absolute favorite parts of my job. So I want to know, how many mini 4-Hers do we have in here again? Man, look at all you guys. That's awesome. I'm super excited. That's going to be fantastic. All right, parents, guardians, caregivers, how many of you are here in the room? All right, mini 4-Hers, I want you to look around. We're going to give them a really big round of applause, okay? As loud as you can. Clap and cheer for your caregivers, your parents today. All right. Yeah. Parents, guardians, caregivers, we appreciate you because you guys get to be the ones that tote these wonderful mini 4-Hers around, because I'm assuming you're not letting them drive quite yet. So, so thank you for doing that. We do have lots of volunteers helping out tonight as well. So we are going to dive into it. We're going to do a little bit just background about what
4-H is before I let many 4-Hers go. 4-H is the largest youth serving organization in the U.S. We have more than 6 million kids involved coast to coast in the 4-H program. It is volunteer led. So while I may be on paid staff, I could not do my job without wonderful volunteers, and that's adult volunteers like you see in the other room, as well as our youth volunteers like our junior leaders that are going to help specifically with mini 4-H. I put the mission of Indiana 4-H up here because I think it's really important for all of you to know why we're here and what our program is all about. So the mission is to provide real life educational opportunities that develop young people who will have a positive impact on their communities and their world. So a lot of people, when they think 4-H, they think the fair, right? Does anybody see any mention of the fair in there? No, 4-H is a year-round program. We celebrate our successes at the fair, but we are doing so much more throughout the year to develop those young people in the community. So some fun 4-H facts for you. The 4-H's, Head, Heart, Hands, Health. We just did those in our pledge. Everything that we do in 4-H ties to those different aspects. This is our lovely logo, our emblem, our clover. You will most likely see it in green and white. It has very specific do's and don'ts that go along with it because it is protected under the same protection as the Olympic rings and the presidential seal. It is the only youth serving organization logo that has that protection as well. So part of my job is I get to be Clover Police. Super fun, but it does not come with a badge. We have our motto, to make the best better, which is what we hope to do at every meeting. And our colors, like I said, are green and white, and we have several what we call mission areas. So any of our projects, activities, things that we do are going to fall into these areas: STEM, healthy living, civic engagement, leadership, and career and college exploration, even starting in mini 4-H. So some brief history. 4-H started in 1902. When an adult named A.B. Graham realized that the best way to educate adults is actually through youth. And he started teaching kids how to grow corn in a different way. And pretty soon those kids, their corn outproduced their parents' corn. So then farmers started to take note and realize that, hey, these kids kind of know what they're doing. So that sort of transformed into modern day 4-H. We've changed a lot and grown a lot since then. When you look at 4-H now, in Indiana, we are part of Indiana 4-H, and we are housed under Purdue Extension. So if you look at a lot of our logos, a lot of my email signature, our office, we are Purdue Extension, so we're housed at Purdue. And we are one part of a larger extension program. So we've got 4-H, Ag and Natural Resources, so that's the person that you call when your garden is falling apart or you have random bugs in your house or something. Not me, I am not that person. I deal with the kids. But we have our Health and Human Sciences, and we also have our community development. So 4-H is just one part of that. So we have grown so much. This is actually a picture of a mini 4-H day that we had a couple years ago where we did a Color Me Green dash. So kids got to run around, get really messy with some green coloring. And we've changed a lot and grown a lot since those corn clubs way back when. All right, so now comes the super fun part. Mini 4-Hers. What I'm gonna have you guys do is you're gonna leave your stuff. And you guys are gonna go next door with our junior leaders. Junior leaders, raise your hand. Don't worry, parents, the door is open, so you'll be able to hear them. You guys are gonna head over, you're gonna do some games, you're gonna actually get to see some sample projects, talk to our junior leaders, and then we will come back, I promise, so. All right, those of you joining online, we'll start back up here in just a second. We're going to give them time to rotate through. All right, so you guys get to have the super, super thrilling part of the session. Don't worry, your kids will have an amazing time. I'm sure you will be thrilled with all of the information I'm about to toss you. So we are going to go over first some terminology. And then I've got some questions, some frequently asked questions that we get asked all the time by 4-H parents. So hopefully that'll answer some of the questions you have. And then we will have time for questions at the end as well. So some 4-H terminology tonight and throughout 4-H. When you hear the word 4-H online, that means it's a website designed as an enrollment and data management system for 4-H. So that is where everybody signed up on 4-H online to be a part of the 4-H program. That's where we keep all of our information, contact information for all of our 4-Hers. A lot of times you will now get emails through 4-H online. If you have never seen the word 4-H online and you're sitting there like, oh dear, that's okay. It is not too late to get your kid entered on 4-H online, but that is our main database hub. Projects for mini 4-H, it is a specific activity that's completed through 4-H with the option to exhibit at the fair. So mini 4-H has several projects that we will actually go through, and then some examples, we'll talk about some examples of what mini 4-H displays could look like at the fair. A club is an organized group that meets regularly with an adult volunteer staff to really help that long-term educational process. So mini 4-Hers, this is like our kickoff. We will then have a meeting once a month leading up until fair. And so community, once you get into regular 4-H, you have the option of community clubs and specialty clubs, but mini 4-H specifically, we have our own club. And we will talk a little bit more about that here in a second. Some other words you're going to hear frequently: FairEntry. That's a second online database, but that is specific to fair. So 4-H online is where you're going to sign up for projects. FairEntry is where you're going to tell us what you're bringing to fair. Project manual, those are the booklets that are actually available tonight for mini 4-Hers. It tells you what to do for each mini 4-H project. Mini 4-H has a hard copy as well as online versions as well, depending on which you would prefer. Those again are available tonight. So we are going to do the game of I'm a mini 4-H parent / guardian / caregiver. Now what do I do? Here's 6 questions that hopefully will answer a lot of what you're thinking as you're sitting there like, this is a lot. Oh my goodness. We're here to help. I promise we're going to get through this together. Your kids are going to have a great time this year. I'm super excited about this year, and you should be too. So first of all, where can I find answers to my questions? There are a lot of places where you're going to have a lot of information available to you. So first and foremost, there's a mini 4-H handbook, again, available tonight. It overviews all of the mini 4-H projects that you have. It talks about our meeting dates. It's got everything that you need to know really about mini 4-H. The mini 4-H newsletter. So we send out just a fun newsletter a couple times a year for mini 4-Hers, as well as our Clover Connection, which I need to update because we just got a new look for our Clover Connection. This is a newsletter we send out once a month, typically around the beginning of the month. Talks all about what's coming up in 4-H, activities you can be a part of, really important deadlines, that sort of stuff. That is available on our website, as well as we send it out PDF to everyone. Mini 4-H meetings is a great time to ask questions. We try and prep kids as we get closer to fair for what fair will look like. Throughout the year, we will do different activities at our meetings, but we always have time for question and answers at the end. The mini 4-H project manuals, if you're looking specifically for project help, that is available tonight as well as online. The extension office, feel free, we'll put our contact information up here at the end. Feel free to call, email, Facebook us, whatever you would like to do. We are happy to answer any and all questions. We have our new family guide that you guys can also pick up tonight, hot off the presses. It came in like last Friday. And then we also have our county website. So I'm going to say this delicately. Our website is not perfect at all. And we realize that. And we realize it is a big barrier, especially for new families. So if you are struggling to find something on the website, please call us. We could probably get it to you faster. Part of that is throughout all of Indiana, every county got a new update. And so we are all still trying to learn how to make the websites work for us. We are very limited on what we can and can't do with the website. So when you get on and get really frustrated, I promise it is not Katie Sweet there sitting in my office trying to figure out how can I make this harder on people. So please, if you cannot find something, give us a call. We know our website is not perfect. So next question, why do I have to do both 4-H online and FairEntry? And this is a big one we get asked a lot of times. So 4-H online, like I said, that is our enrollment database. So that houses your information. That is where you declare your club. Again, for Mini 4-H, we have a club specifically on there. That's where you will sign up for any projects. Mini 4-Hers can sign up for up to 2. And then that's also where we register for events. So Mini 4-H really won't have a lot of events per se, but as you get into regular 4-H, that's where scholarship applications for state 4-H goes. That's where statewide events people sign up for. That is really our main hub of information. It is also where when you sign up on 4-H online, you say, I'm going to sign up for the photography project, for example. On FairEntry, that opens a little bit later. It opens typically June 1st, and that is specific to the fair. So they talk to each other. They're going to say, okay, you're signed up on 4-H online. I see you're taking photography. What are you going to bring to the fair? FairEntry is going to say, I'm a level C salon print photography kit. That is where very specific you're going to tell us what you're bringing so we can sort of prepare our space and make sure we have everything done appropriately. That's also where it generates tags that are going to go on your posters. Let me see. So Mini 4-H will also do this as well as regular 4-H, and it generates this nice little tag. I'm going to show the people online too. Generates this nice little tag that's got a barcode on it that then when you bring your project, it gets scanned and checked in. So then later, after it's judged, we can also scan that and put a ribbon with it, a ribbon placing. So that is FairEntry is specific to our fair, whereas 4-H online is general 4-H. Next question, what should I expect at a Mini 4-H club meeting? First and foremost, lots of fun, lots of chaos, but I promise it's organized chaos. Because when you get a bunch of first and second graders in a room, there's always going to be chaos. But we have wonderful junior leaders that help make our Mini 4-H program run as smooth as possible. So we will always do our pledges. We'll typically have a mixer or some sort of activity to get them up and moving in a large group. And then we have activities that we rotate through kind of based on the year. So this is an odd year, this is 2023. So we're actually going to focus on our 4-H mission. So we're going to be doing activities related to the different mission areas of 4-H. So STEM, healthy living, civic engagement, career exploration, college and career exploration. We'll most likely have a snack. And then we'll always end with announcements. Here's important dates coming up. Here's information you need to know. Any questions? The meetings, though, the important thing to note is these are not required. In 4-H, we can actually not require meetings at all. The only meetings we can require is a safety meeting for shooting sports, and that's for regular 4-H. So if you miss a meeting, don't feel bad. It is okay. We are encouraging in-person meetings this year. However, we understand life happens, and if you need a virtual link, we just ask that you request it ahead of time so we can get that sent out to you and get some activities that you could do at home. Yes, and junior leaders help conduct the activities. So like tonight, they're going to be the ones that are helping lead the activities. They have been trained to help work with youth. They have kind of a list of what they're supposed to be doing at each meeting. And it's an awesome way for the Mini 4-Hers to be to get familiar with the junior leaders and encourage them to continue on in their 4-H career. So next is, how does my child pick projects? So Mini 4-H is a little special because we definitely don't want to overwhelm our Mini 4-Hers. So we ask that they focus on 1 to 2 projects. Part of that is also space. If Mini 4-Hers decided to show like 10 different things at the 4-H fair, we would literally not have enough space to house them all. But we also don't want them to be overwhelmed and totally burnt out by 2nd grade. So Find out what your kids like. We have lots of opportunities, lots of different projects that are geared for first and second graders. With fun activities in their manuals, they've got some very instruction. This is what you're going to do. This is what you're going to exhibit. But lots of different topic areas. So ask friends what they're into. Pick something your kid is going to be interested in. And we ask that you help them, but don't do the project for them. Again, project books are available tonight if you want to take a look. And you can always look at a bunch of different books. Ultimately, you just can only bring 1 or 2 things to the county fair. Just can't bring a whole bunch. An update for you guys. So Mini 4-H does have the option to show livestock. It is not a competition. Mini 4-H does not get first, second, third place, because the whole idea of Mini 4-H is to explore 4-H, kind of dip their toes in the water before they jump in 3rd grade. So we do have a book that we are just trying to finalize. We're hoping to have it ready tonight, but it just did not work. So if you are interested in having your Mini 4-H'er show livestock, they will be partnered with a mentor, which is an older 4-H'er. It can be somebody you know, or if you don't know anybody in that project, we can also connect you with a mentor. And the projects we have available for showing are rabbits, poultry, which is a new one, sheep, goats, swine, and alpacas this year. So poultry and alpacas are new compared to the previous year. So hopefully that manual will be up and running by February 1st. All right, so I have 2 more questions. One is about this next one is about volunteering. So, because I know you're all sitting there thinking, this sounds like a wonderful program. How can I be involved even more in my busy schedule? Yes, I have the answer for you. All of our volunteers go through a screening process because we work with your most treasured possession, your kids, right? So we want to make sure the kids are experiencing 4-H in a safe atmosphere that they're going to really thrive in. And so we do have a screening process. We ask for references. We do sex offender registry checks. And there are some additional kind of training videos that all of our volunteers go through. So when you see a 4-H volunteer and they're an official screen 4-H volunteer, you know they really want to be there and they really have taken the time to make sure they're going to be providing your kid with the best experience possible. So we have lots of volunteer opportunities. Even with Mini 4-H, I'm always looking for just extra hands at club meetings. So if that's something you're interested in, we do have volunteer applications tonight. But going forward, if you're thinking, you know what, this is something I might be interested in, we have lots of opportunities with other clubs. We've got projects that are like in regular 4-H, we have project leaders and advisors that kind of oversee the project, do workshops. We've got those opportunities. We have chaperones for trips. We've got boards and committees, and then we need lots of fair volunteers. The week of fair, we are always asking for help, whether that's monitoring projects in the expo hall or helping, clean up some stuff at the fairgrounds or working one of the livestock shows. We are always in need of extra hands at the fair. And then I did put up their Spark programs. This is something typically for 3rd grade and above, but our Spark programs are short-term programs designed to spark an interest in something. And so we've had a bunch of random ones throughout the year. We've had STEM ones. We've had, this year we have a robotics one. We've got a sewing one. So if you're like, you know what, and it can be related to a project or not. If you're like, hey, I really love scuba diving and I would love to educate kids on scuba diving. Let's talk. Let's see how we can make that happen. I don't really know where you would scuba dive in Hendricks County, but if that is your passion and you want to teach kids how to do that safely, we can make that happen in 4-H. But it all starts with that volunteer process. So, because I see a volunteer in the back, hey, Rick, would you give them a 5-ish minute warning? All right, so some important Mini 4-H dates specifically. So if you guys all picked up a bright green piece of paper, that has a lot of general 4-H important dates. And we've got a bright purple piece of paper that has our Mini 4-H meeting dates on it. So these are just a couple of them. So every year we encourage 4-Hers to be enrolled in 4-H online by January 15th. It is not a requirement. After that date, we don't say you cannot be in 4-H. That is just so we can start getting that important information out to our 4-H members in a timely manner. Because starting, honestly, this week, A lot of really cool things are going to be happening in 4-H, and we want to make sure our 4-Hers know about them. The only way we can make sure that happens is if they sign up on 4-H. So February, March, April, and May, we have mini 4-H meetings. All of the meetings are going to be here except for March. March, our fairgrounds, we are very lucky with our wonderful facilities. As you can see here, the first meeting that I have had in this room with the new flooring and the new paint. So congratulations. But we are very lucky in the fact that we have an awesome fairgrounds, but that also means it's in high demand. So there were literally only 2 dates available in March, and none of them worked in our calendar. So we are going to be having a off fairgrounds meeting. I'm still confirming the location, but it is going to tie into, I think our focus that time is college and career preparation. So we've got a couple opportunities we're exploring to get the kids out to a different part of Hendricks County as well. Everything else is going to be here. Our day camp is June 1st, and that's in the morning, and it's really just a bunch of fun games and activities for our mini 4-Hers. We take them on a tour of the fairgrounds so they can prepare for fair. They know kind of where stuff's going to be. They kind of get to, we'll go over like what judging looks like. That's really our let's have fun, let's celebrate mini 4-Hers, get them prepped for fair time. And we also typically start at 6:30 except for day camp. That is during the morning. Some other important dates, and these are important dates, like if you leave here with nothing else, the most important date in Indiana 4-H is May 15th. That is our drop ad deadline, and that is our, once you get into regular 4-H, that is our livestock deadline. So all animals, all information needs to be in 4-H online by May 15th. Like that is a statewide, May 15th is important. There are times where like I have to make sure we schedule nothing around that day because it is just chaos. But that is an important one to know. June 1st is typically when FairEntry opens. So you honestly don't even need to worry about FairEntry until it gets closer to June. And we will, I promise, we try to do our best to send like step-by-step guides for things like FairEntry so you are not totally overwhelmed. I'm a picture person, very visual, so I make sure we have step 1, picture, step 2, picture on what you need to do with 4-H online FairEntry. Pre-fair week. So mini 4-H, one of the questions we get asked is what do mini 4-Hers do during fair week, pre-fair week? So pre-fair week is our judging week for all of our indoor projects. We are finalizing the schedule. Hopefully that'll actually be ready pretty soon. But there will be one evening where mini 4-Hers will be invited to bring their projects. So for example, this is a poster from a couple years ago. They'll bring their project, whether it's a poster, a diagram, a display, whatever it is. They'll bring their poster in and they will actually get judged by our judges. I'm doing this because mini 4-H again is not competitive. So they're not going to walk away, just to prepare yourselves, they're not going to walk away with a blue, red, or white ribbon. They all get a very cool, fancy ribbon. And the judges, to kind of introduce them to the process of judging, are actually junior leaders. So we work with the junior leaders to make sure they understand how to give good feedback, how to encourage the kids to stay involved in 4-H, and how to take that judging opportunity and turn it into an educational opportunity for that mini 4-Her. And then you get to leave your project, walk away, and it gets magically put up on display for the whole week of fair. Come back, bring your mini 4-Hers, bring your family, and say, look at what my kid did, because it's awesome. We also have, so fair time is July 16th through the 22nd. July 23rd, the Sunday after fair, is our achievement program. This is where we recognize all of our seniors. It's where we recognize all of our award winners, and we would love to have any mini 4-Hers there as well. We actually added that to the program to be able to celebrate them a little more during the achievement program for this coming year. So mark those dates on your calendar. And that's going to be time for us to regroup. So as kids are coming back in, are there any questions before kids fully get back in here? Rick, would you yell at them and tell them to hop over here? And we just have a couple more slides we will go over once everybody else gets back here. to give you a little insight of what they did over there. They got to do 2 activities, so they have a coloring page they're probably bringing home with you. They also should be coming back with some little piece of paper because they kind of played a would you rather game. Would you rather do this or this? And that kind of helped them figure out what 4-H projects they might be interested in. All right, mini 4-Hers, did you have fun over there? Yeah? Did you have fun moving around? You got to move around a lot more than your adults with you did. So hopefully you had, a good time. So all right, we're gonna wrap up here. What's next? It is go time, mini 4-Hers. So over the next couple months, we will have meetings for you. I am hoping that you guys will start working on your mini 4-H projects. The project books are over there tonight, so take your parent guardian with you on your way out. Maybe check out some project books you might be interested in. It is time to get involved, so start coming to club meetings as much as you are able to. Make sure you're reading our newsletter. Make sure you are checking our social media if you're on social media for updates as well. And then stay tuned for a lot more information about FAIR coming in the spring. All right, one event that is coming up, we just finalized this information last night at a meeting, is our flower sales. So Hendricks County 4-H has a huge fundraiser that we do, and we sell geraniums and petunias. And so all of our 4-Hers are encouraged, not required by any means, but are encouraged to sell flowers. And clubs get a kickback of the portion that they sell. And that money also goes to our youth council, which helps oversee 4-H programming. It goes to scholarships. It assists with things, actually things like mini 4-H, new family orientation. So it goes awards for the kids. And for every $100 a 4-Her sells in flowers, they get $5 to the 4-H cafe during the fair. So you sell enough, you could live off of milkshakes all affair. Mini 4-H specifically, we do not. We encourage you to sell if you want to, but it is not a requirement by any means. Every year we have a couple mini 4-Hers sell, but this is not something we want to pressure you to do. This is just an opportunity if you would like. We will have information that you guys will all get in the mail that talks about how to do orders and everything, and when mini 4-H pickup for flowers will be in early May. But again, there is no pressure to sell flowers. I know kids that are in school have tons of fundraisers going. But if you want to in mini 4-H, we would love to have that too. We do get a cutback because we are a club. So we do get 10% back to the mini 4-H program. But again, there is no pressure to sell our flowers. Make sure you pick up your new family guide tonight. And I am very underprepared because I forgot to grab one before I came up here. So if somebody would like to hold up their lovely new family guide to example, look at that. Thank you. It looks like that. Hot off the press, make sure you pick that up. Thank you, guys. We want you to have that tonight. Here's our contact info. Our email address, phone number for the office. We are open 8 to 4, except for on holidays. And if there is any time where you're like, I just can't get to the office during that time, but you know you're going to be at a 4-H meeting, we are happy to work with you and figure something out, okay? We are also on social media. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube. And I think that is it. So I will take some questions. I will take questions now, and I'm also, when you guys leave tonight, before I dismiss you, we do have snacks over here especially for our mini 4-Hers. We've got apples, we've got pretzels, and we've got granola bars. We do have some gluten-free options with popcorn and some gluten-free granola bars. We also have bottles of water. So mini 4-Hers, we know you play hard over there, so we want to make sure if you would like a snack, take that. Otherwise, any questions that you guys have? Yep, so the question was for showing animals, will that be outlined in the manual? Yes, so there will be activities specific to each species. You will only be allowed to do one species. Again, don't want to overwhelm you with 5 different species. But then it'll have a form that you will fill out to talk about signing up for finding a mentor, or if you have a mentor. Yep. Can you use one? Yes. So the question was for showing livestock, can you use a family member for mentors? Yes, absolutely. A lot of times that's what happens. But if you don't have a family member, don't panic. We'll make sure you get connected with someone. Other questions? All right, so we are going to dismiss. And like I said, make sure you grab snacks. Junior leaders are